And just like that, the clever dumb balance is restored. Because in my last video, I spent 10 minutes explaining how Rockstar had knocked it out of the park with the Banshee GTS, how they really understood the gamers because they knew how important it was to get a car as iconic as the Banshee right. And when I drove that and did that lap, I was blown away. The best new car we've had for a very long time. So I went into this review with high hopes, and that's the review for this, the Jester Widebody, which is one of the new cars available with this week's GTA Online DLC, the Agents of Sabotage, which looks good. I haven't even had a chance to play the missions yet, but let's hope they're better than this car. Right, so where do we start with this thing? I'll start with some good stuff first, because it's not awful to drive. It's a Jester. I like the Jester anyway, so when I saw the widebody one, I was quite looking forward to getting that because it's a really nice car, and I thought, you know what, the widebody version, that'll be quite nice, that'll handle well, get it looking right, and then that'll be a nice car for missions. So the handling's not awful. It doesn't really feel any better than the standard Jester to me. It does have one thing the standard Jester doesn't. It has a missile lock-on jammer, which is brilliant. It means you can use it in sessions without getting blown up by Timmy every 20 seconds. That's it, we've come to the end of the good stuff. And normally, I don't swear in my videos, but I'm not going to be able to do this video without it, so I'm sorry. I've invested in a bleep button, and boy am I going to need it, because what the f*** is this? I mean, seriously, Rockstar, what the f*** is this? Are you trying to piss us off with this? Are you trolling us with this car? Because this is $2.2 million. And as I said, it's not awful. That's it. That's as good as the description gets. Speed-wise, it's fairly average. The handling is fairly average. Top speed, fairly average. It is $2.2 million worth of average. And after the Banshee GTS, I was really hoping for a lot more or a lot less. If I'd have paid, you know, 1.2 million for this, I probably wouldn't have much to complain about. But this is nearly 300 grand more than the standard Jester RR. It is not £300,000 better than the Jester RR. Because the main problem with this car, and the bit that really irks me, and the bit why I'm so cross with Rockstar about this, is there is no customization whatsoever. And that is a travesty. And it also makes no sense whatsoever. Why is there nothing? And by nothing, I mean nothing. Yeah, you can do the engine upgrades, and yeah, you can do the brake upgrades, but that's it. Oh, transmission. I nearly forgot transmission. That's a third of the customization, and you can change the colour. But no exhaust, no splitters, no bumpers, no spoilers, no bonnets, no roof options, no nothing. And the one thing that, I mean, more than anything else, I'm not a big one for liveries, but there are no liveries either. And what that means is that I hope you like this one, because you can't change it. And by that I mean you can't even take it off. So arguably, there is a market for this car. If you don't like customising cars in GTA, then this is the car for you. This is right up your street. You're going to love it. Also, if you really like your cars to have a livery that looks like it belongs on the wall of a tattoo shop specialising in really, really bad Japanese tattoos, you're in luck. This is the car for you, because you do have to drive around with this rather appalling, gaudy livery on. because did I mention, and I know I did, but I've got to say it again, you can't take it off. Why would they put a livery so awful on a car that could have been so good and make it so you can't take it off? It makes absolutely no sense whatsoever. So if you're still interested, here's the top speed. So if you're new to the channel, this is a measured mile of road. I drive as quickly as I possible, and contrary to what I said for the Banshee, in this one that will not be pretty damn quick. And there you go, as suspected, average. So what this tells me is there are two departments at Rockstar that are fighting for control of the company. You've got the Department of Awesomeness. The Department of Awesomeness developed the Banshee GTS. They also decided that invite-only lobbies were a good idea and that most businesses should be set up so that you can use them solo. But they're competing with the Department for Ingenious Cock-Ups, or the Dicks Department. They thought that the Oppressor Mark II was a good idea. They thought it would be a good idea to advertise every time you're doing a sale to the whole lobby. They also thought that some sale missions you should have to leave your cars unattended, and also some sale missions you should have to go into your phone and close the map completely so you can't see if anyone's coming after you. That department is much better staffed and has much more funding than the Department of Awesomeness, and that's how they managed to come up with this festering, stinking turd of a car. Now, I do realise I'm sitting on the fence a little bit with this one, but just for the avoidance of doubt, in case anyone hasn't picked up on this, do not buy this car unless you're one of those two groups of people, i.e. you don't like customising and you really love this livery. The only way I could make this car look anything like was to paint it the same purple that you see in that awful livery, and then it looks a tiny little bit less than it did when I picked it up, but it's only a little bit less. So all in all, at 2.2 million, that's basically 2 Kaios worth of work at 45 minutes each. This is an hour and a half of my life that has been stolen by Rockstar. So from this point on, you owe me an hour and a half for making me buy this thing. So, not that any of you should care, because no one should buy this car under any circumstances. It's appalling. If you like the Jester, buy the Jester. The Jester's great. This is a slightly more expensive, crapper version of what was a good car. It is such an enormous disappointment. It's a massive swing and a miss. If this had had HSW, that would have rescued it definitely. Maybe even a bit more Imani Tech might have rescued it a little. But as it stands, this is an absolute no. And here's the time it managed to do. And here's where it sits on the lapboard. So I hope that was useful, and I hope that's helped you save some money. This will be going straight in my garage of cars that's ready to sell. It's so bad I'm actually going to have to choose one to move out of that garage. I would be tempted even to keep the Vivinite over this. That's how bad it is. So with that said, I'll see you on the next one, and hopefully that will be a better car. Take care of yourselves.